half of the money they use for all these orgy parties, do you know some of them would do? Have you ever seen? I've seen a party. I watch it on YouTube. They pour champagne for all these half-naked girls to bath.
Yes, now.
To bath.
See, Lolo. Devil is working overtime. That nigga is working overtime. Everything still comes back to, see, Mammon and God. The one where they follow Mammon, God dragging now money. Money is a God on his own, no. That thing, what it influences, money, what it does to people. You may never really know how low you will go.
Honestly, and even women.
I saw one video of a guy in Dubai. He was in Nigeria, 2 videos. He was first in Nigeria. They were celebrating. He was hosting a very big party. The next video was the guy being rammed by different men in Dubai. Like 4 men or so. The first
that's
video,
the work he's doing.
Yes.
And that's why he's spending it.
So he's spending money here in Nigeria
for
big party.
The humiliation of his.
Yes, now. I think I saw the video about 2 years ago.
Jesus.
It was like a minute video.
And
the first few minutes was him having parties in Nigeria. The next video was him collecting.
Welcome to another beautiful episode of Say My Piece. My name is Omotunde Adeboale David. I know, right? Some of you, if I do quiz now, you not know my name, so I'm always giving it to you. But you all call me Lolo One. Welcome to another exciting time where we're going to be discussing something salient, interesting, topical. This one is a wow because it's even international. But of course, I won't do this alone. My brother, my co-host, is here with me, looking shiny, very vain, wearing himself on his t-shirt. Wow.
In these days when you have to identify yourself with each movement, I finish your talk. They say, "Who are you?" I'd like this.
Not me.
It's maybe this. Hello guys, how you doing? How's everybody doing? My name is Ogbolo. As you all know, everybody, you're welcome back. And I hope you've been enjoying every other episode that we've been dishing out. All right? So you're welcome to Say My Piece. And Lolo, what we're talking about today?
You know, today, this one took the world, I wouldn't say by surprise.
There was a shaking.
Because a lot of people have been speculating for many years.
Yeah.
But, you know, everything came to fore, I think, last year.
Yeah. Even though before last year, there has
been speculations. But, you know, none of it had any evidence.
Yeah.
I'm even sure that a couple of times they've even tried to search, but they didn't find anything. We're talking the P Diddy saga. I hope when they do this in our editing, they must put gaga. Yes, because it's P Diddy saga. You know, a lot of news broke like late last year about all the horrendous things that happened within the mansion, within the, you know, the inner circle of P Diddy. Some of them were so mind-boggling that even if you saw the evidence, all the things that we heard, you actually feel like physically distancing yourself from it. That, are you sure all these kinds of things could have happened? Some people have even put memes, you know, the baby oil meme, any small thing. They say he had cartons and cartons of it in his house, you know, suggesting all sorts of things. But the one that really gave evidence was from his ex-fiancée, Cassie. That was what broke everything initially, where a video surfaced of P Diddy beating her up in a corridor. I saw it. He was throwing her around like a rag doll. I was like, are you sure? Even though I have always looked at P Diddy like, there's so much more that meets the eye. You know how they say, because we are thespians and we're creative people, when you look at a man's face, sometimes you can, it speaks louder than words. That's why when you see some actors, they say they're method actors. Yeah. They just know how to bring emotions into something. I've always felt he had a sinister side to him, but hey, that was just my thoughts. But you know, everything has now come to fore. And the case has gone haywire. The evidence is damning, grievous. There has been allegations of parties, orgies.
Yeah.
There have been highly placed people named here and there. Almost every all your hip hop stars. All those people that you respected, his hands have been fingered in some murders, that though he had a hand in the death of this person, in the death of that person, even though the matter is still in court, it's not everything that has been proved yet, but they are hearing it. And even the things we're hearing in court, you know, one of the ones that stood out for me in recent time is the Cassie's testimony. I know Cassie is married.
Yeah.
She's had a child, and even she's pregnant with her second. And, you know, I don't know, some men are just special. Imagine a husband. Do you know what he had to deal with on a daily basis? And yet, he still stood there supporting her. No, that was it for me. It's the highlight of me. Imagine somebody sitting down in the courtroom
and having to hear.
You know, it's a different thing when somebody tells you something.
Yeah.
But hearing it from her mouth, saying it to the entire world is on another level.
It takes a type of man, actually.
It takes a type
because,
of man.
Of course, before everybody started hearing in court, he has heard from her directly. So nothing for now will be a shock to him.
Even at that.
You get, because of course some men can be like that. They'll be like, no worry, I'll stand. Okay, because she needs all the support right now. Because then again, this is Cassie.
Trauma.
Some people may not necessarily know. Maybe Gen Z, I don't know. Gen Z should know who Cassie is. You get, because when she came out with that song back then, that was, I think it was Time to Go or something like that. Time to Go, something like that. I can't remember the lyrics anymore. Kathy too, in her own way, was big. She was, you know. But then there came the Baba called P Diddy, Puff Daddy back then. Now, the truth is, court right now is revealing more. And a lot is happening. But before we even get there, because again, it's not just about P Diddy and Cassie. You know, we're going to, we have to talk about how this also you know, comes into play in our system within Nigeria, for example, where men have money and can literally just, you know, bring their fantasies to life, even if that has to mean that the person coming in, they have to enslave the person in order to achieve their fantasies and all. I think those are the areas we're going to go into, you know, with this conversation today. It's not just necessarily about P Diddy and Cassie. They're just case study for us. But a lot has been heard.
No, a lot has been
heard. P Diddy, my God. It's like when money comes into the hands of people. Now, I'm going to also speak about that because at least to a large extent, we'll say we don't see small money, right? And there's a way that money literally can bring out the monster
in
you. People, if you never make money before, you feel no.
Yeah, you feel no.
You feel no. If you just argue, say, why can't they control themselves?
There's something my guy put on his status. He said, a thief will say he's not a thief because he has never been caught.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes. No, it's something I've also said it, you know, for several years. That, you know, if you talk, say you know be thief, or if you never get the opportunity to thief, if you've not gone to a room and seen money, and then you walked out.
Walk away,
you can't say I'm not a thief. Be in that position first and overcome that temptation. Then you can say, I'm not a thief. You've not been tempted, you've not been tried. So
do you know that there's a scripture I like. Sorry, this is not a Christian podcast, but there's a scripture that I like in Psalms or Proverbs. It says, don't give me too much money that I would not have need for you. And don't give me too little that I will curse you. Ogbolo, I want to believe when they say that the love of money is the root of all evil. It's not money that is the root.
It's not the money, it's the
because
love.
Money can be put into many beautiful uses. If you have enormous wealth, that means you have the opportunity to impact life on a level never seen before. I would believe that it is the love of it. Because if it is not money, that is too much. Do you know when I look at a PDD's life, people don't get money reach one level that, if they call Chevrolet, Tesla, before they design the car, they don't already know who they go carry and go give. So it's not like you have to pray about it. It's not like you have to go to a showroom and want it. They are even incorporating your needs in a design. So it's not like, I need to do anything to get it. It's at your fingertips.
Yeah.
Some of them have private jets, cars of choice, yachts. As in, some of them don't even swim. They don't even do anything. But they have it.
Yeah.
They have enormous wealth that, you
You can
have money
you
to
can
a point that
misbehave.
you'll be thinking that, okay, what can
What
I
next?
do?
Yes. You're like a god.
It gives you a godlike personality
Yeah.
that if you are not careful, is going to bring out the darkness in you.
Yeah. Because you can do anything and get away with it.
Totally.
You can literally use money. I mean, that is where money comes into. But this is where money works.
Yeah.
And you can do anything that you want to do.
Look at the mansion, the house alone.
Yeah.
That means
That's
you
just
can
one.
build a house that the structure alone caters for your dastardly acts. I've seen many of them now build dungeons under their houses where they have parties that cannot be imagined.
Yeah.
I even have some that have room where they do all these BDSM things. The room is equipped in that way. Or like something that, there are many fetishes people have that you can just do on a one-off. Imagine that you have a purpose-built room to do all that.
These are the things that can happen once you have the funds. That is why we said earlier that if you don't have the funds, you can't really say some things. If you've not tasted money, you can't really say some things.
So now I can't say whether you are good or bad because I know that you don't have money and you're already dressed like somebody that is going to kill all of us.
But some people, you can almost tell how they will be later on. You can read a person's soul. I mean, you can check the person's vibe and know.
If you have a lot of money, honestly, I know that a therapeutic kind of person is what I see.
Basically me, yes. Yeah.
I would see you building like a studio that can...
Exactly.
Anyone can come
I'm going to create. I'm just going to go into creating.
Yeah.
A P Diddy, for example, also did a lot of these things.
Yes, musically.
Now he contributed so much to the growth of
hip hop industry.
Yes, in America. So he has contributed, and he's one of those guys that, for example, in Nigeria, there are those men who, if you want to make it in an industry, they'll say, go and see this man.
Yeah.
He's one of those kind of guys, who at some point had played gatekeeping roles.
Yeah.
You have to see this guy if you want to make it in that industry. So plus the money, plus the fame, plus the influence, plus the women, affluence, plus the fact that he knows the industry.
And, P. Diddy has rolled with all the greats.
Of course.
And I hear there was a time that he was on the sidelines too. And you know that there are still allegations of drugs.
Of course. Of course. No, because again, during the court case, Cassie said a lot about his drug use, and how that also influenced. He had to make her start taking drugs, and he had to fly in strippers and guys who will come have sex with her, and he will sit down and watch. It all manner of fantasy.
When I was listening to the testimony, it was so traumatizing for me that I stopped at a point and I just let people tell me. Because there are some things that you hear. When I look at the youths of nowadays, I fear for the next generation with my whole heart. All these things that we are looking at a negative, with a negative connotation, like, this is not right.
Yeah.
Do you know that some of these young people actually think that was there?
Yeah. Yeah.
He has the money.
Yeah.
He didn't kill anybody. Nobody has been able, if I have that kind of money, some of them, do you know, even with all this negative publicity, he is still their aspiration.
Yeah, of course.
That they'll be able to do such things and get away with it.
That is why people like that need to be brought, what is going on right now in court. If you look at the likes of R. Kelly, who I'm still a fan of, though, but if you see,
loves R. Kelly.
Jesus, my mother knows.
But
my twin sister knows. You come into my room that time, you see his pictures in my room. I see. Till tomorrow, I'm still an R. Kelly fan. But again, that doesn't mean that, their personal lives, what's going on there. I'm still a fan of his music, as who he is as R. Kelly. But Robert, who he really is.
When the news of R. Kelly's own broke, I found it unbelievable. Because you are wondering, like,
it's the power, Lolo.
What is it?
It's the power. It's what comes with it. R.
If
Kelly's
it's
own
sex, you have access to the best of women.
R. Kelly had married men want to pay him to sleep with their wives. That's how crazy it was that then. He was in demand, not just musically, he was also in demand sexually. Not just by women, but even men, cuckolds wanted him to do.
I keep saying that sex, money, drugs. These are things that, if the devil had power, that is part of his tools.
No, but these are the things he's selling.
Because-
Don't mean carry Jesus, climb mountain, and can't say, I'll give you the whole world, I'll give
as
you
I'm
this one,
looking
I'll
at
give you
it
that
now,
one.
I'm
Yeah.
seeing sex. The way without sex now,
Yeah, no.
it's as if the crazier you can get with sex, the better for you. I mean, I've come to learn that the more use you put yourself to, the more things you make your body experience, the more you want to experience. Some of these people have slept with the best of women.
Yeah.
If you think, they've slept with skinny ones, big ones,
Every type.
fake ones,
Yeah.
they've even slept with disabled ones.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, what haven't I done? Okay, that dwarf girl. Have you done the dwarf before? Have you tried it? What was it feel? Say, let me try. Go get me 7 dwarf girls. And they have access to be able to get that.
I just mentally.
They think
But
that's how they talk about some of these things.
I mean.
But why do you think many of them will now get to that point that, okay, we've done all this. Have you ever been with a child?
What's new?
Have you ever been with a child? Like, not really. Okay, they'll start with child pornography. After some time, it excites them. And they're like, okay, why don't we get it done? It's the fact that they have resources to make many of their evil dreams come to pass.
Well, Lolo, the truth is this. Everybody has a tendency to become like that.
Totally.
This is when we watch stuff like this, like when I was watching it, I asked myself a question. What are your secret desires as a person?
I'm not going to say on the podcast though.
You know, but it calls for us to have a rethink, because you don't know yet until we're all praying for money, right? When the money hits, right? Your unguarded thoughts will come
to sway. Yeah.
Those secret desires and fantasies will come, and if you're not able to put some things in check before the monies come, you will also become, a slave to your own fantasies.
I keep laughing that everybody judges other people. But when they say that if you point one finger, the rest of the finger is pointing at you. Yeah. Do you know how many people whose atrocities are not seen? If somebody had told you that Bill Cosby had molested anyone, would you have believed?
I still have issues with the Bill Cosby court case. I still have issues because I know how America can be.
I know,
the truth is,
but sometimes
if they want to bring you down, they will bring you down.
Yeah.
And there are several things that they will put in place that you say go the shock, say, now me do this one.
But the thing is, if you don't walk in those places and giving them everything we do in life, we give people further.
Yeah.
It's just like telling me now that I should visit somebody that is not my brother, that is a guy, Ogbolo. I do not go there. I have met many people. If they tell me that a single guy is dying in there, I'm just going to call you. That they say a single guy is dying in there, and you're going to go. Why? Because of my own experience.
Yeah.
And I do not want such a thing to be repeated in my life.
Yeah.
So I have to put checks and balances in place.
Yeah.
Just like you said. So if you don't walk in the shadow of the valley of death, death might not come. Many people will be quick to judge other people. I keep asking people, are you curtailing your minds and the secret things that you want to do?
Right now.
I'll see some young men and say, look at that little boy that many people are not judging, that came out one time and said they should beg, one of these music moguls to help him. So, where is this? Zlatan,
okay.
I think. One boy that I picked off the streets one time to help, that was begging, and he said, he wanted to be this and that, and he said, okay, let me help. And the guy turned around to bite him in the back.
Yeah.
Look at that young man. He doesn't have money. Yet, small taste.
Just taste. A taste of it.
Like this.
Yeah.
They never even finish the pap. You don't collect the bowl from the person where they give him.
Yeah.
Start to badmouth him.
Yeah.
The mother that said, they are doing this, they are stealing his mother, a child's destiny. Is she not the one that still came to social media to cry and say, please, we're hungry? But the young person he tried, you say, he was negative. But it's his own experience.
Yeah.
They never even give the boy big access.
He done the bad
He
mouth.
already done. They do bad. They do anyhow.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
just a
now
taste.
person will never get money.
Yeah.
Imagine when that boy now hits major money. Maybe he now has a Zlatan kind of influence.
We can see it in several artists. I don't want to mention names, but we can see several artists in Nigeria.
Several of them.
Yeah. When money came, it became they became a problem.
They became a problem.
Yeah.
To themselves, to the people they consider fans,
Yeah.
even women.
Yes.
I have seen one of our female acts that every time I look at her, I'm like, what happened really? From body enhancement to inappropriate dressing to
Nobody can talk to me.
nobody can talk
I don't want
to
to
me.
do what I feel like doing. Now,
Because
because
now
of this, you know,
you can do all the things you've ever wanted.
and nobody can talk to
And
you.
nobody can talk to you.
Yeah.
So you can't even tell you, oh, stop.
Yeah.
You've had enough.
Yeah. You're not accountable.
Until they say, now the person where don't meet, now be thief. If they never catch you and you are doing it, and I think that's what our own experience in Nigeria is. That guy they caught that time that was a kidnapper in Jakonde Estate, Evans.
Evans, yeah.
If I tell you now that his kidnapping den is opposite my family doctor's hospital,
Wow.
opposite like this, that means there's a possibility I've walked past the man.
Yeah.
Do you know when I looked at him first, I used to see a familiarity like somebody had seen before. It's a possibility because that's the only hospital. I lived in Jakonde Estate for some years of my life, a good number of years. So that means I might have passed him. But many of them, in Nigeria, we know they too catch people.
Yeah.
Are you telling me there are no serial killers in Nigeria? Who has been killing people?
On code.
Do you remember one guy they caught, maybe Tanzania or something, that has been burying people in his compound? You're like, it's just that in Africa, physically, I just hear say. But you want to tell me that people that are named are not in some of these parties. Imagine if a video leaks. You might be surprised that somebody that you respect, that if they say swear, you go down collect your tumoko like this, user hit your head, say never, and he's there.
So at the end of the day, all of this still points to individuals. Because like we said earlier, it's easy to look and point to people and just say, okay, this person, this person, without you looking at your personal demons, right? But then again, we look at a Diddy, we look at a Cassie situation. Now, we have talked about men and how, or not generally, how money brings power, it brings out all of your desires, and you want to fulfill them. How about the women in question now, who also go for wealthy men? You don't, because the man is wealthy, the guy is wealthy, he has a lot of influence, has a lot of affluence, he becomes attractive, he becomes desirable. Now you want to stay under him or stay with him. And then you will have to, you will curtail all of his excesses because you are gaining something. But and then eventually, when it has gone as dark as Diddy's own, for example, you now become a slave and can't even leave.
Can't even leave. Most times, Ogbolo, there's something powerful men have, influence, that I don't know how to explain it. I'm sure if we had a psychologist here, they'll probably give us the term. When a woman is in the presence of a powerful person, some of them see it as service. Why do you think that satanic cults still have people that willingly give themselves a sacrifice? There's a level of mind play that goes into wooing some of these women. Don't you know P Diddy is a very powerful man?
Of course.
He could have pointed to any woman, even somebody like me. Just imagine a P Diddy pointing to me and say, Lolo, I want you. I won't lie to you. I might see it as honor. It might not even be about the money in those times, because some of these women, they're the ones that lifted them up. Cassie, her music, and you can see what they're doing for you. So to latch on to them is easier. And by the time you find out, there's hardly anybody that will sit down and know that this thing is going to bring me harm. I want to be there. It's a little bit of lure.
But is that thing more a woman thing?
Well,
I'm asking because I don't want to just jump into
me, it's every situation cannot be the same.
Yeah.
Every situation can't. In this Nigeria, I have allegedly heard of women that roll with powerful men that do rituals. They say they can't do them because maybe they are jazzed up themselves. But they still ask them to bring their friends. And these friends bring them. And you're wondering, that means there's a bit of psychology at play. They look at their needy friends.
Yeah.
people that, that's why I tell people that careless talk sometimes, you need to curtail your mouth. Let me shock you about a personal experience. There's somebody industry-wise I met on a set. Very good-looking boy. Of course, he was on my thing. Then one day, he started toasting me. And I said, no, you can't. I'm not on that trajectory with you. The boy, he will go away, come back again. Do you know one day he told me that, okay, if I don't want, who can I give him to? Obolo, I've not finished the story, you're laughing. I know a lot of people that always say it didn't happen. It happened to me. And I was engaged him. I said, okay, so how far are you willing to go? He said, I'm hungry. I need help. If I can't get it, I can't survive. I said, okay, do you roll both ways? He said that he has never rolled that way, but if that is on the table, he doesn't mind. And I said, so I can sell you to someone. Would you mind? But he's a guy and they will do anything they like to you. He said, how much? Ogbolo, do you know when he said how much?
Now, this was you testing him? Oh?
Yes. Tears rolled down my eyes. I said, have you done it before? He said, no. I said, do you know the pain that will come with it? He said they will probably give him enough to be able to take care of himself. At least he will go to hospital. I stopped chatting with him. And I was turned around and said, imagine I had the power to do this evil act to you.
Yeah.
I said, don't you know you are giving me an opportunity to ruin your life? I said, do you think this is just something you do to your physical body? It affects your mentality.
Yeah.
Do you know this young man? I blocked him on all sides.
Are you sure it's not the same person we had this conversation with? Because one other guy was in my DM saying the same thing, that he doesn't mind coming to the industry. He has heard about certain things. And
I blocked him. I didn't see him for many years. God is my witness. The next time I saw him, Obolo, this boy prostrated, his chin touched the ground. When he saw me, he held my leg. He said, Ma, I want to thank you for what you said to me that time. He said, see, Ma, I'm doing better now. I didn't go that way. If you had not spoken to me in that, if you saw the way I talked to him, I'm like, that is one person.
Yeah.
Ogbolan, that is me.
Yeah.
Imagine if he fell into
some
the
other
hand
person's
of a pimp.
Yeah. That one's life has
Look at
just
that
taken
one.
another
His
trajectory.
hunger and lack of ambition or staying power to stay through his pain. That's many people's story.
Yeah.
A lot of women that you see that are in those kind of situations.
Slave-like relationship.
Hunger, maybe poverty, low self-esteem.
Yeah.
Bad company. Because if you roll in some circles, there are some things that will come
Definitely.
I don't have any friend that takes drugs. So for drug to tempt me,
wouldn't be a
it
thing.
would be hard. Where do I want to see it?
So that means at the end of the day, we also have to talk about the kind of influence
you surround your life with.
Yeah, exactly.
The kind of places you roll.
Yeah.
The kind of people that influence you, that you are allowed to speak over your life.
Yeah.
You see a lot of girls, 2 days you see them, they start rolling with some of these Lagos women. In 2 years, they are bleached from head to toe.
Yeah.
That's the power of influence.
Yeah.
Shebi, that one is even your skin you are destroying. Just like if you go about with girls that pimp, do hookup. That's why I always tell people that, how can hookup become a thing we celebrate? How can it become a thing that we can publicly celebrate?
Yeah.
Are you telling me that you give birth to a daughter and as you christen her, you say,
This
I
one
crown
will be
you
a
the
prostitute.
queen of prostitution? You would always beg men for money. You will be,
You will sell your
serve
body
men.
for
You will
money.
serve. I said, who can do that? That means if you are endorsing such things, there's no end to what you can do. In Nigeria, our own female never reach who is even saying, let's just say we don't know. Because I've heard rumors of all sorts of things. Industry-wise too.
No, of course. See,
The powerful
listen.
people, when they name it, but because nobody has caught anybody
It
this
is
way.
happening here. It is just that, like you said earlier, there's no accountability. Like you said, some now just say P did no marry Cassie.
Hey.
Some people have married that person.
Are there not women who have married ritualists that they
That's
saw?
what I'm saying now. Some people today, that's P Diddy kind of person is your husband today.
Hey.
So again, women just need to be very careful. See this talk of money. It's easy to just look at cash and say, do you know, they were peeing in her mouth.
Hey, see, when I heard that,
there's a
I
lot.
was like, this you heard that story?
Her mouth was peeling because of oral sex. That all the guys that P Diddy was bringing, he'll bring a yeah. So at a point for her, she couldn't say no. She couldn't stop. If not, he will beat her. So now, before we get to that particular position where a man has literally taken your life like this, what can you as a woman do? Because I think while we are also encouraging women to become independent women, make your own money, I think the how is another conversation.
No, these days, nobody talks about the how.
Because it's easy to just say, all of these girls now, once they say, what they are saying now is that
as long as I have money.
Yes. So that is it.
It cannot be as long as
before now,
money.
People have told you, women empowerment. Do you know how many people have done this women empowerment thing like this? And said, okay, let me go into prostitution to empower myself, make all the money I want to make.
At least I'm not harming anybody.
And then there are models out there.
Of narratives.
There are women out there who are your examples today.
That can show you.
Yes, they can't tell you how they've made the money. But they are showing you and trust you women now. Una go just say, hey, yeah, I wish I.
I never do that, I wish. Because even as you look at both of us, you don't know our lives.
Yeah.
You only know what we show you.
Yeah.
And I keep asking young women that, be careful where you walk. Shebi, I don't know if you heard the story of that girl they took to Dubai.
Which of them?
She said one of her friends just said that let them hang out, that she's going to Dubai. The girl has been frequenting Dubai and all that. So, of course, you know what I can. My friend said, don't worry, I'll sort every bill.
Yeah.
Let me just take you out.
Osho free
kind of thing. Be careful. Me, I'm always careful when something is too
free. Yeah.
He said he took her to Dubai, not knowing that this girl is recruiting people for all these evil Arab men.
Okay.
And the way he did it, she did it. Very technical. They told me the story. I didn't read it personally. She said when they got to Dubai, of course, they were chilling. She now took her to a store. She had planted that Arab guy.
In the store?
She just told the girl, say, me, I won't go another store. Say, I won't go, so you can shop here.
Yeah.
You know, like, they get the shop, they happy, say, collect this money. So as she was shopping, this Arab guy came to her and started toasting her. The shock. Do you know what that means? Like, waiting I carry.
Yeah.
She said, of course, she exchanged numbers, that kind of thing. So when the friend came, say, imagine what happened to me. One clean Arab guy just asked me out now that they want to take me out, that they don't mind even giving me money to hang out with them. Of course, my friend, you don't hit jackpot. Do you know how many girls are in this Dubai that no Arab guy have ever spoken to? Hey, my friend, go and enjoy yourself. That one, think. Say, is it not just one night? Is it not just like a hangout party? That was how this girl went with that Arab guy. She said they drove them in a yacht. They said they parked the thing in the middle of an ocean. That was where her life scattered. She was raped by men. She was asked to do dogs. They beat Shege bastard out of her. Paid her the money with some. And they still paid that girl that pimped her to them. When they finished, they brought her back to land, threw her out of the car, out of the boat. The girl was the one that came to carry her, took her to hospital. You know all those, that's how it happens. Sometimes you don't know this thing, but at least they gave you the money. Is it not better? But that girl's life, do you know what her life has been ruined forever?
I mean, from that point on, for the
rest of her life, I doubt if her life can be the same.
She may pretend about it, but you have left a trauma. There's something that thing is going to, for the rest of your life. Yeah.
Even Cassie that is talking all these things, tell me, that is trauma central.
No, of course.
Her children will grow up to hear these stories.
Have you seen the husband's face walking out of court? You can almost tell that this one, he just has to do this. But Baba is not happy. I think they even said he should not be entering court anymore.
Yes, I think I said they said he should.
Because he reached now, only if he just sit down for court, they shout, hey!
Is enough to kill You know the things human beings can bear.
And
even
men
when they are
don't
telling
handle
you
those
the
things
story,
well.
you believe that you went through all
of this, yeah.
But do you know another bad thing? Most of these people that do this kind of dastardly act, like a P Diddy, R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, the likes of many, they are always talented people.
Yeah.
So is it possible to say that we can separate their art from their act?
I think it's something most people, because again, we're entertainers, right? And we understand, because some people think that now you can't separate both. But I think you if you are as a fan first, because sometimes I'm a guy, and I know how fans come at me, female fans. If I want to take advantage of so many female fans, I would have. But then again, I have to say no, I beg, because again, tomorrow big. One case, one fan can literally
ruin your
entire life. So I'm very careful, right? Now, you can or you should separate the art or the artist from the person, and just be on the fan place, love what the person does. You don't know the person enough. People think they know a person who they are fans to. Ogbolo, man. Sabi that guy. No, you sabi what they do.
And they do.
You know sabi who I be.
Yes.
There are two different things. We need to learn to separate, because sometimes your favorite celebrity is the most terrible person on earth.
Being.
I know some celebrities today. We know some celebrities who are badly behaved.
Terribly behaved.
But they are very talented and people love their talents. Now, if you go now, if we advise you, say, no, go. You say, no, I love to separate the person from the art. Some people are very talented, very badly behaved. Some people are not as talented, but they are the angels.
Yeah, they're very good.
So people need to learn to...
But for me, when you say separate, sometimes it depends on the product we're consuming. Especially music. A lot of times, the spirit of music is so powerful that, have you not been in some... Why do you think they say, rock music elicits some kind of feelings?
Yeah.
Even love songs elicit some kind of feelings. And the people that you are talking about that are creating this art, different things inspire them.
Yeah.
And if you are consuming the product, something like music,
yeah,
I don't know, don't you think there's some music that you would play that will just put you in a mood that is sensual or sexual.
Yeah.
And the music might not be even sexual. It's just a nice love song. But maybe what inspires it is just off. And there are some rock music, they'll tell you, they totally talk about demons.
Yeah.
They talk about all sorts of scary things that you're like, okay, how can I listen to this and be able to sleep at night? So sometimes it's a bit awkward. Like when I hear R. Kelly songs now, I won't lie. Gone are those days where I have the song of victory. I'll be like, But now I'll be like,
well, it can never happen for some of us.
Which victory?
Because I think that for me, for example, I've learned to also say, because again, I knew his history. Even before the court case, and I have known, even from his childhood, how his mother and all of that. Long story, it's not about R. Kelly, but I've known his history. So somehow I was able to tie it to his later experience in life, because that was a damaged child, a very, very damaged child. He was also abused by a woman. So sometimes the abuser was abused.
Most
you
of
understand?
the time.
So that's where it stems from sometimes. But again, sometimes ask yourself, some of these people who sang love songs, how many of them were married and happily married?
Don't you know?
So sometimes they're literally just selling what they could sell to the market. It
love is an illusion. How many? Do you know how long it took me to be able to know that kissing is not done in slow-mo? And that when you kiss someone or you're in an intimate situation, your hair is not blowing. But do you know how long Hollywood sold those kind of images to? I swear.
Yeah.
I felt like, the day you know the longing.
Yeah.
When you first see each other.
Yes. All those,
una
jam things for ground. You are standing up
like you stand up and your
no,
eyes
lock.
No,
be for real life, oh.
My sister and brother is not like that.
You get. So
but
we should
for
learn
a
to
growing child, it took me a long time to really believe that. Do you know, even when I was going to marry, I used to just think, that wistful feeling like, a knight in shining armor will just come, and as I'm about to do this, all those skinny will just whisk me upon his horse and ride into the sunset.
Wow. For many of you women, see, una problem na here. This thing, this one our mind. Men know they to think of this one.
I know.
But you women dwell so much in fantasies. Sometimes it becomes your problem.
Yes, it becomes
because when someone who looks like they can make these fantasies come to pass, especially financially, then the person now becomes like your god.
Imagine me, that Greek mythology is my thing, and P Diddy says, "Oh, I'm taking you to Greece," and he's so rich that he actually makes sure that everybody that welcome me dressed like Aphrodite, all my Greek
You've
gods.
already sold your soul, right?
All of them have wrap-round dresses. I'm like,
your soul has been sold.
The experience you can get with money.
Even from your description now, if you don't already said the soul already.
My brother. So imagine if somebody does that for me.
So I think
you become vulnerable.
At the end of the day, everyone needs to be careful. Now, if you're making money, and this is to people out there, not just men, if you're making money, before you start making the money, look at yourself, check yourself out. What are your secret desires now when you never get the money? You say you need to hear people when they speak now. If I get money, if you end up as Diddy, or if I jam on correct man, we just guy, you can end up as Cassie.
Yeah.
So we all need to be careful what our desires are and what is influencing us, because one day you'll be tested in that area. That thing will present itself.
I hope, just like Ogbolo said, even men, I always say that all this craze of I want money, I want power, I always want you people to ask themselves, what do I want it for?
Yeah.
You see, there are so many questions we never ask ourselves. Yeah. Like me, I already know that if I get the kind of money that I want, impact is all I would live for.
True.
I will make sure that I go around the world and I influence everyone that I can come across. Imagine when you're going to the Philippines, you're going to Vietnam, you're going to the far ends of the earth in Africa to provide borehole water, to do something to change the world, make it better than you left it. There's so much money. Do you know, I keep thinking that with all these rich people, there should still be no child that is uneducated.
Yeah, they can't take care of everybody now.
I'm even saying that imagine if all these affluent people, do you know some people have money in their banks that even if 7 generations spend it, every day is not done. They can't be done spending it.
Yeah.
But if you use those things to influence life, do you know how many people I know in Nigeria that I would love to buy a wheelchair for? I mean a motorized wheelchair to make their lives better.
Yeah.
When I look at their counterparts abroad, I'm like, I wish I could bring a company here that can make wheelchairs to fit the specification of people who have disabilities. We are still struggling to buy wheelchair. Do you know now disabled people abroad have moved to exoskeleton?
Yeah.
They are no longer thinking of wheelchair.
Yeah.
They are thinking of how to rise up and walk on their own with exoskeletons, with new technology. And we in Africa are still here.
Still on wheelchair.
So half of the money they use for all these orgy parties, do you know some of them would do? Have you ever seen? I've seen a party. I watched it on YouTube. They pour champagne for all these half-naked girls to bath.
Yes, now.
To bath.
See, Lolo. Devil is working overtime. That nigga is working overtime. Everything still comes back to Mammon and God. The one where they follow God dragging now money. Money is a God on his own. That thing, what it influences, money, what it does to people. You may never really know how low you will go.
Honestly, and even women.
I saw one video of a guy in Dubai. He was in Nigeria, 2 videos. He was first in Nigeria. They were celebrating. He was hosting a very big party. The next video was the guy being rammed by different men in Dubai. Like 4 men or so. The first
that's
video,
the work he's doing.
Yes.
And that's why we're spending it.
So he's spending money here in Nigeria
for
big party.
The humiliation of his.
Yes, now. I think I saw the video about 2 years ago. It was like a minute video. And the first few minutes was him having parties in Nigeria. The next video was him collecting.
Doing all that.
Yeah. So we have to just be careful with what our desires are and all of that. Even though you yourself, you are trusting God for people to come your way and help you. Be careful the kind of help that is also thrown at you.
Yes,
some of those kind of help sometimes. Because a Cassie could have also gone to that whole thing started with he can help my career.
Yes. Nobody.
That's the beginning of that thing. No, it can
Almost
help my
every
career.
bad thing that happens to people, I always say that the devil doesn't come with horns like we all think. It's through subtle things that is not far from you. A lot of women would do anything to be more comfortable. Ogbi, when I didn't go to MVC, I looked at all the dressing. Imagine that you can just order the person that dresses Beyonce to come to Nigeria to style you. You can afford it.
Money good now.
And you don't have to think your head about, you just want to wake up that morning, you go to spa.
Straight up.
You know, the makeup artist, everybody's there. And I just enter into the hall in a breeze. And everybody's bowing. And I'm like, oh God, Lola is the best dress.
Wow,
She's wearing dresses
this
from
your head, they think.
petals made from the cedar of Lebanon.
Wow.
They made the material
Why?
from fantasies, but imagine if you can. But to you, it's a flusy dream.
No,
but if you see most of the women,
yeah,
half of the things is about how you can be better projected. Why do you think women are so dissatisfied with their bodies? Because as long as you can pay for the enhancement, you want to keep doing it because you want to keep appealing to those people that you think can give you the lifestyle that you want. But the bottom line of everything, Yoruba will say it, one is saleoro, olegmi. Honestly, is the weightiest thing I can think that when you search riches and you see the foundation of it, they said it's full of canker worms. It's full of terrible things that you can never imagine. So be careful what you wish for because you might actually get it.
Yeah.
And when you get it,
yeah,
you might not be able to get out of it.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, everybody, don't think that Diddy is so evil that you cannot fall for stuff like that. Everybody has potential to
the heart of man is desperately wicked. Who can know
everybody, you don't know yourself so well until you are placed in certain positions.
Well, if I get some money, do you know some people I want to shoot their toes? There are some terrible.
If I get money,
I get money,
let's all just be careful. Everybody. We can look at P Diddy, we can look at Cassie and just say, oh, them. But that could be a you tomorrow. That could be. So at the end of the day, I beg, let's all just make sure that we are in our own way curtailing our excesses, because a lot of those things are in your desires when you were not known, self. And then later it matured. It came to manifestation later when there were means for you to bring it to fruition. So just be very careful and tomorrow big. Yeah. Let's it not be a case of P Diddy and Cassie tomorrow, I beg.
Yeah. All right, if you enjoyed our talk today, there are so many instances and occasions that you yourself have witnessed. We'll be willing to share some of them with us, where you are seeing crazy things happening. Where you yourself said, crazy things are happening. Share some of these personal stories with us. If you are willing, we would love to take some of your stories because there's limit to what we have seen. Maybe you are even literally seeing things that are happening even in Nigeria that when some people tell me what happens in Lekki, I'm like, it's Lekki. Which house? Where? Everybody's experience is particular to them.
Yeah.
But that's all we can take on this particular episode. We hope you continue to enjoy our podcast. And it's Say My Piece. We just say it the way we see it. But the way you see it too is welcome. So until we'll see you on the next episode, please curtail your excesses before this money comes. So that money will not fuel your dark side.